Hey Browns fans! Coming up with the latest Cleveland Browns updates for you. I'll give you everything that's been going on around here. But before we dive into the latest updates, make sure to hit that like button so you don't miss any breaking news about our team. Trust me, you're going to want to stay on top of this season. Alright, let's talk about Jerome Ford. We all know last season didn't start the way anyone wanted it to, with Nick Chubb going down in Week 2 against the Steelers. It was a tough blow, but it opened the door for Ford to step up, and boy did he deliver. As a rookie in 2022, Ford barely touched the ball, just 12 yards on 8 carries. But last season, the guy became our workhorse, starting the last 15 games and racking up 813 yards on 204 carries. That's a solid 4.0 yards per carry. And let's not forget those 4 touchdowns on the ground. Ford wasn't just a threat on the ground. He caught 44 passes for 319 yards and 5 more scores, totaling over 1,100 all-purpose yards. That's a big jump for a guy who's been thrust into the spotlight. So how does head coach Kevin Stefanski feel about Ford's progress? On Wednesday, he had nothing but praise for the young running back. "I thought he had some really good moments for us," Stefanski said. "A young player who I think will continue to get better. We put him out there on third downs last season as a third down running back, and he wasn't perfect, but he didn't miss a beat." That's high praise from Stefanski, and it's clear he's excited about what's to come as Ford enters this season with more experience under his belt. With Chubb still recovering from these surgeries, Ford will be the go-to guy in the backfield when we kick off the season against the Dallas Cowboys on September 8th. So what do you think, Browns fans? Can Ford keep up the pace and carry the load while Chubb is out? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about Deshaun Watson. We all remember the excitement when the Browns made that big trade to bring him over from the Houston Texans. But let's be real, so far, it's been a disappointment. Watson has only played 12 games in 2 seasons. Not what we expected, right? CBS Sports' Doug Clawson just revealed a harsh truth about Watson's time with us. He laid out a pretty brutal analysis of Watson's performance, or lack thereof, since joining the Browns. And here's the kicker. Clawson went as far as to say that this trade is shaping up to be one of the worst in NFL history. But let's not give up hope just yet. The 2024 season is fast approaching, and this is Watson's chance to turn things around. He's 28 years old, and if he wants to live up to the expectations we all had when he arrived, this is the year he needs to do it. The Browns have surrounded him with talent. Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy are ready to shine at wide receiver, and we're all eagerly awaiting Nick Chubb's return from that tough knee injury. This season is a make-or-break one for Watson. If he struggles again, the Browns may have to seriously consider moving on. But on the flip side, if he can find that spark and play like the star we know he can be, Watson could still be the long-term answer at quarterback for the Browns. So what do you think, Browns fans? Will Watson rise to the occasion this season, or are we looking at another disappointment? Denzel Ward, one of the NFL's most talented cornerbacks, was confirmed to have suffered his 5th concussion since 2018 on Wednesday. At 27, Ward has proven time and time again that he is an elite player, but with this latest concussion, it's time to ask ourselves, should Ward consider retiring from the NFL? Now, let's be clear, this is ultimately Denzel's decision. He knows his body better than anyone and has access to the best medical advice in the world. But as fans who care about him as a player and as a person, it's hard not to be concerned. We all know the risks associated with repeated concussions, CTE, long-term cognitive issues, and other serious health issues that can arise down the road. Ward is a former number 4 overall pick and has been a mainstay of our defense since joining the Browns. But with 5 concussions under his belt, the risks are starting to mount. The NFL has become much stricter with its concussion protocols, and for good reason. The long-term effects of these injuries are no joke, and at some point, the risks may outweigh the rewards. Let's not forget that Ward is financially secure. In 2022, he signed a 5-year, $100 million contract with $71.25 million guaranteed. He secured his future, but the question now is whether continuing to play is worth the potential cost to his health. As fans, we're in a tough spot. We love watching Ward dominate on the field, but we also want what's best for him in the long run. Football is a game of risk, but at what point do those risks become too great? That's something Ward, his family, and the Browns organization will have to carefully consider. So, what do you think, Browns fans? Should Ward hang up his cleats and prioritize his long-term health, or do you believe he should continue his career? Let us know your thoughts below. Let's talk about our new wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, and his thoughts on the Deshaun Watson connection. Jeudy has been dealing with a knee issue this preseason, which has kept him out of action for most of training camp. And with Watson having some arm soreness recently, these two haven't gotten many reps together. In fact, they haven't even dressed for a preseason game yet, and it looks like they might not get that chance before the season starts. But here's the thing, Jeudy isn't sweating it. He's confident that when the regular season starts, the chemistry between him and Watson will click. Jeudy has been watching Watson closely since his shoulder surgery, and he likes what he's seeing. He mentioned last Tuesday that Watson has been putting the ball in the right places and making the right reads throughout camp. Of course, nobody's perfect, but Jeudy feels like Watson is doing everything he can to be ready for Week 1 against the Cowboys. Speaking of Jeudy's knee, he tweaked it during OTAs while running routes. He's been taking it easy, following the advice of the training staff, who have been extremely cautious to ensure he's 100% on September 8th. Jeudy isn't one to make excuses, he's a player through and through. Whether it's the preseason or Week 5, he's ready to step up and perform when it counts. For those who don't remember, the Browns traded for Jeudy in March, sending 5th and 6th round picks to the Broncos. He's a former first-round pick out of Alabama, and the Browns wasted no time in signing him to a 3-year extension worth up to $58 million. So, yes, there's a lot riding on Jeudy's shoulders this season, and he's not shying away from the challenge. One thing Jeudy is really focused on is building a strong connection with Watson. He knows that on-field chemistry doesn't happen overnight, it takes work. And since they haven't had a lot of reps together, Jeudy has been making sure to communicate with Watson as much as possible. He's been asking Watson where he wants him on certain routes and in specific situations. It's all about getting on the same page and understanding each other's tendencies, especially when the real bullets start flying in the regular season. Jeudy will join Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper as our primary pass catchers. But it's worth noting that all three missed some time during the preseason. Cooper just returned to practice after dealing with his own issues. He had an interesting offseason, including a brief holdout before returning on a revised contract. But don't worry, Cooper still has a lot to offer. Last season, he caught 72 passes for 1,250 yards and 5 touchdowns, so we know what he's capable of. Jeudy isn't too concerned about the lack of reps with Watson or the other receivers. He feels they're all smart players who understand the game and the fundamentals of football. When Week 1 rolls around, he's confident they'll be ready to take the field and perform as a unit. So, Browns fans, what do you think? Are you as confident as Jeudy that he and Watson will get to work despite their limited time together? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and let's get the conversation started. And as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for all the updates. Go Browns!